Hey guys, and welcome back to another badass podcast with your boy Rob.100 and DJ, the one and only Supra.
DJ Supra, the one and only, in the building.
Yo, hey, so I want to let you guys know that we got a lot of great comments and a lot of good feedback. Some bullshit feedback too, which is awesome. I love haters. Shout out to all my haters out there. What about Supra? You got haters?
I got haters all day, man.
We love haters. The more haters you have, the better it is. We're going to talk about opportunity. We have some questions that people are asking us, and we're going to keep the ball rolling. What do you want to start with, Supra?
The phone lines are hot. We got, I want more people to send their shit. So, real quick, if you have any questions for some real ballers, some real doers, send it over to Rob. What's your Instagram? Let them know.
Send it to Supra. DJ Supra NYC. That's all I got to do on Instagram.
Send it to Mundo. It's Mundo. No, okay. You can send it to me at DJ Supra NYC. Again, that's at DJ. That's DJ SUPRANYC.
Perfect.
All right, let's go to
these
questions.
If you send it to me, obviously it's gonna go into my request, and I'm never gonna see it.
He's too famous for you guys.
No. I mean, if you want to, you can also go to lifenor.com and submit some information in there. That's where I have all my free education. That's right, free of charge.
Free 99.
12 courses, 200 ebooks, all free of charge in there. You know how many coaches think I'm crazy for giving away all my education for free?
They probably all think you're crazy.
No, I don't care. You know what I mean? I just don't need to make money off of educating you. I want to make money with you once you're educated.
All right. So let's start asking some money questions. We got 3 of them. Again, I don't post any names because, well, it should be anonymous anyways. But anyways, here we go. Question number 1, Rob. Are you ready for this?
Let's roll.
So this guy says, I just started seeing this woman, but she's totally on the rebound from a 2-year relationship.
Uh-oh.
So she's been with this guy for 2 years.
This is Mundo's ex?
Probably. This is Alberta from Michigan. Alberta's like 50 years old. That's how
going through
Mundo
menopause?
likes it.
Huh? Yeah, going through menopause.
So she says she's over him, but she keeps talking about him. Like, okay, so she just got out of a 2-year relationship. She's in this new relationship with this guy, but she won't stop talking about. He says, this smells like trouble. What do you think, Rob?
He's a rebound. He's the rebound guy. And you very rarely, this is the biggest problem with men in general. This is why women can get away with murder with dudes, is because we don't actually look at what they do. We look at what they tell us. And what I mean by that is if a woman was it was vice versa, and you kept talking about your ex to your current girlfriend, she would know without a shadow of a doubt that there's still feelings there. There's still some animosity there, maybe some bad blood, but also some love and some commitment stuff and everything else. And, so I would tell you, bro, in all honesty, to toot it and boot it.
So what I'm hearing is that you're giving him a line from Frozen. You're telling him to let it go. Let it go. Okay.
Bro, I mean, 100%. I mean, listen, right? So your woman needs to be 100% down for you. And it doesn't sound like she's down for you, bro. And so I would tell you to, hit it and quit it, toot it and boot it, took it and book it. You know what I mean? However many lines you need to come up with to get the clue to be able to know that she's not down for you.
I mean, that's straight to the point. Do you think that maybe she can get past her ex and then the relationship will work, or should he just move on completely? You don't believe in giving it a shot?
Giving what a shot? Giving what a shot? What are you talking about? He's already in a committed relationship with this chick, and the most popular topic is her ex-boyfriend. What would that tell you, Supra? What do you think? What advice would you give this fool?
I would tell him to commit himself to her, no matter how toxic it is, and make it work.
Supra, your girlfriend is not here right now, bro. Okay? You can tell him the real advice. Don't give him
Okay, are you? The question is he dating a Latina? Because if it,
I don't care. Well, it doesn't matter. Your girlfriend is not here. You can give him real advice.
all right.
If your girlfriend talks about her ex-boyfriend during dinner every day,
no,
all the time, you're telling me that you would say, be committed to her.
I would go into my spank bank and start thinking about my exes.
Exactly. So Supra's also telling you in his own PG version words that you should move on.
Yeah.
Keep her. I would honestly say keep her in the rotation. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Keep her in rotation, but don't it needs to come natural, and obviously it's not coming natural to her.
All right. So here's the next one. So Rob, I'm 19. And I'm looking to start my life. Most of my friends are out having a good time and finding relationships, but I'm more interested in getting my life going. I don't come from much, so what would you say is enough money to be saved? What should be my savings goal be at this point? Do you have feedback for a young hustler?
So, I mean, obviously, like my thing is right now is stack as much money as possible for what I call your opportunity fund, right? There's no such thing as too much money, right? And so one of my mentors, Jim Rohn, used to always tell people all the time that if you're not prepared for opportunity, then you're prepared, then the opportunity is going to pass you by, right?
I like that.
And so life is not about taking advantage of opportunity. It's about preparing for opportunity. And a lot of things in this day and age require money. If you want to buy an investment property, can you do it with no money down? Yeah, but you're not going to make as much money as if you have the money to put in on the properties, right? That's why the people that are buying those properties are buying it with cash or the credit that they've established with banks, flipping that property and making 50 to 100 grand, on those properties, at least, some of the time anyway, right? And so if you don't have any opportunity money at all, then opportunity is going to pass you by. And so it doesn't matter how much money you're stacking. You should be stacking. I always tell people that you should be stacking at least 70% of your income for opportunity. You should only be living on 30% of your income. And so you have three things you can do. One, you can reduce your bills as much as humanly possible. Or number two, you can increase your income as much as possible. Right? Or three, you could do fucking both. Right? I mean, I make a ton of money, and do I live like a king, Supra?
You live like a peasant, my friend.
Yeah. Do I even have a car that I own in Puerto Rico?
We have bicycles.
No, we don't even have. I don't have a car. I don't live in a multi-million-dollar mansion in Puerto Rico, and I stack all my money for opportunity. And how much opportunity am I taking advantage of right now?
A shit ton.
Yeah, because I don't live for now. I live for 10 years on the road, and if your girl can't accept that, then you don't need to be with her, right? So many women want to be with a man who's already established and already killing it, and expecting that guy's going to bow down to her and sign his name on a dotted line and give her 50% equity of all of his shit, right? And it's much easier and much more effective for a woman to find a guy who has that ambition like you do, and to be able to grow with you and to sacrifice with you. Like the reason why Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, in my opinion, deserved that $35 billion that she got in the divorce is because she was with Jeff Bezos when he was worth nothing. She helped, give him peace to be able to focus on that climb, right? So I have no qualms about her making $35 billion of Jeff Bezos, $150 billion at that time, right? On that. She earned that money. But the women out here who try to find these guys who are already making millions of dollars and want to get a piece of that, you're crazy. I'm never going to, get married legally on paper ever again. Why would I want to have a government contract saying that I will give this girl 50% of my money if she cheats on me?
No, we're doing promise rings at this point, right?
No. I said I'll do the ceremony, right?
Yeah.
I'll do the honeymoon. We'll do the pictures. but there ain't gonna be no license.
You know what's funny? I always wear this little this metal bullshit I have on. It's complete trash. But the message that it has on it is in Italian. It says, "When preparation meets victory." So that's like always a reminder. It's actually pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's about being ready.
If you fail to plan, your plan is to fail. That is the number one principle in opportunity, right? And in order to buy a house for $100,000 is to save $1,000 at a time, right? How do you eat a fucking elephant? One bite at a time. That's just the way it fucking works, okay? And, you know, did I put this videography studio together for free?
Hell no.
No. Does Mundo work for free?
Hell no.
How expensive is your ass?
Pretty damn expensive.
Yeah, he's actually pretty cheap. He's actually pretty cheap right now. I mean, he's
it-
getting there. He's going to be more expensive in the future, but he's cheap
It
now.
depends. Today's price is not yesterday's price. Let him know.
Yeah. You know, but it's all based on value. You know what I mean? If you prepare for the future opportunities will come to everybody. Opportunity is abundant in this country. I trip over opportunity all the time. Now, I only take advantage of massive opportunity, but nonetheless, I'm always financially try to be liquid or leveraged to where I could be liquid or leverage the money I have in assets to get some liquid cash from loans from banks or whatever to take advantage of opportunity. So I would say save at least 70% of your money because when opportunity comes, you want to be able to strike while the iron is hot, my friend.
That's really good advice. That's solid. So, last but not least.
Oh, there's another one? We got another question?
One more. Next time, I want to have like 30 questions.
Oh
I want them
God.
to like just lay it on. There's a bunch of guys that need it and women.
I'm going to crush Mundo.
All right. Well, here's the last one. My girlfriend keeps posting our relationship on her Instagram, but I'd rather the world not know what's going on or read about it. How can I tell her to quit without starting a war?
So my first question would be like, are you cheating on her? Are you like ashamed of her? Or are you like just a lot of guys get mad at their girlfriends because they don't post their man
It's true.
on
It's the
Instagram,
opposite.
right? And so this girl is actually repping you. She's proud of you. She's happy to be with you. And she's showing that publicly in the number one arena where men hunt for girls, Instagram. And she's flexing you, which is a huge deterrent from men hitting her DMs. And you don't like that?
Yeah, you know what's funny? When I didn't even think about that when I read it.
I'm just thinking like that's my first like thought, right? And then the second thought is, bro, you live in the 21st century. It's 2022. The world of online, the world is a very small place, and the internet keeps making it smaller and smaller and smaller. And you just want to hide from the world. Are you a criminal? Like, do you have felonies? Do you have warrants? Are you a mafia dealer? I mean, like, what's your business, bro?
He's probably like an introvert. He probably just wants to keep his business out of social media.
Yeah, and I mean, like, to an extent, like, I can empathize with him to a certain level, but, you know, for every one girl that does post her man, there's 1,000 girls who won't.
Who's paying for that dinner, huh?
I mean, like, bro, I would say grow the fuck up. I mean, like, if your girl is flexing on you, if you're cheating on her, that's going to be a problem, right? But, I would say, why don't you grow outside your shell and start flexing her on your IG too?
That's hilarious. He's probably like, baby, don't post that. Don't. In the back, there's like 5 different
I would ask the dude's girlfriend, like, what's he doing for her on his IG, right? And I mean, like, I understand that, yeah, there's a level of where certain things don't need to be posted. I agree with that, right? If she's posting, like, everything in the world or on everything else, I can get that. It's over the top, right? But, bro, that girl's in love with you, and she's showing the world that she's fucking in love with you, bro. And unless you're, like, a complete dickhead or cheating on her, I don't see what the fucking problem is. From my perspective, anyway. That's just my perspective. What's your perspective, Supra?
You know what? I would tell him to also grow up and enjoy it. But you know what? I see the other side of it. Maybe his girlfriend is like just because sometimes you could be with somebody that's too immature and they spend more time on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter than actually being in the relationship. So maybe he's like, baby, let's go to the movies or something. And he wants to be all low key and she's too busy filming her nails or something, or having him there and, baby, come take this selfie with me, baby, take this, baby, take that. Like, I could see that side of it where, like, because, bro, we're in an era where people act like social media is a real thing, like part of their DNA. I get so annoyed when, like, people see Instagram and then they're like, oh, you unfollowed me, I guess we're not friends. How about if there was an issue and it just like I accidentally unfollowed you, so we're not friends anymore because it's not on the internet? Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people live in the internet world and they think it's the real thing. How many people get mad at me because I don't follow them on Instagram?
Bro, people get butthurt over you all the time. Are you kidding me?
It's crazy. I was like, bro, I don't even manage my social media. And so if I don't know you and we don't interact, I'm sorry I don't follow you, on there.
I just don't like. I don't like people that get too emotional with that.
And then also, I want to do a shout out to Perrier. I love your water. And once we hit 100,000, subscribers or whatnot, I'm definitely gonna hit you up for a sponsorship because I want to get as much free Perrier as possible. So if you like Perrier, baby, get the Perrier water.
Let's fill this room up with Perrier. You hear me?
Yeah, make it a Perrier room. Let's make it the Perrier room of Rob.
I swear, if you guys sponsor us, we're going to put a Perrier fridge right behind Rob.
Actually, Mundo, do this right now, okay? Right? Hey, Perrier. Shout out to Perrier, baby. So good. Mundo, cut out that clip so we can send it to Perrier and see what they think about that. Because we would love. I'll even put this one right here. Boom. Look at that. Right there. Perfect. Looks beautiful, doesn't it?
Oh, my God.
All right. Beautiful.
Well,
what else we got?
So that was the questions for today. But let's talk about what everybody's thinking about, what everybody's nervous about, at least people that care about money and things that are going on in the world. Rob, talk to me about the market and what's going on in the world, because I'm shitting bricks right now.
Bro, the market does what the market does. You know what I mean? You can either invest like Warren Buffett does, or he tells you to do, right? Or you can invest like a jackass, right? So, I mean, it really depends on where you want to go. But the market goes up and the market goes down, right? And everything is all predictable based on the last 100 years of what everything does. When inflation goes up, does the market go down?
Market goes down, baby.
Yeah. When interest rates go up, right? Do we get less mortgages?
Yep.
Yeah. When interest rates go up, is there a lot less spending?
That's a fact.
Absolutely. When interest rates go up, do foreclosures happen more often? Yeah. So there's a bazillion indicators, right? When a barrel of oil went from negative $33 to now over $150, right? It doesn't let you know what's going on. When there's no such thing as a dollar menu at all at any of the fast food restaurants anymore, that's also another indicator that shit's happening. When people are buying property $100,000, $200,000 over asking price, we know that we're kind of in a bubble. These are all common sense indicators if you're actually looking for these indicators, right? Now, the market is taking a shit. Does that mean that you take a shit or that you start chomping at the bit ready to buy?
I'm saving up that savings we were talking about. That what is it? That
opportunity fund.
The opportunity fund.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, if you can look and see what Warren Buffett's doing, or if you really want to make money, what Nancy Pelosi's doing, bro. Nancy Pelosi is like the best inside trader I've ever seen in my life, man. She makes more money than any politician ever, and literally, she's batting like a 900 on trades. It's crazy. She's the best batter in trading history in the world of the government.
Tell me a little bit about Nancy Pelosi. I don't really know much.
What? What do you know about that? She is the leader of the Democratic Party, basically, and has been for like ever. And she pretty much, grabs a ton of information and she uses it. She's been part of 9 IPOs, so it's illegal for a government official to receive shares of a company, but they can legally receive some sort of like part of an IPO offering or whatever. And so Nancy Pelosi, who makes like $225,000 a year, is worth over $200 million today.
Damn.
And she's been a part of, like I said, 9 different IPOs. Don't correct me. I mean, like I would say 6 to 9 IPOs she's been a part of.
Talk about beast status.
I mean, yeah, when you have the regulations in your pocket and everything else, these companies got to grease the track somehow.
Shady business.
Let me just ask you a question. Yeah, would they include her to be part of an IPO for no reason?
No, she has something to give.
Oh, really? What is she giving though? That's the question, right? What are any of these politicians who are part of any of these IPOs? What are they actually contributing? What are they actually giving back to these companies to be part of so many IPOs?
Access.
Yeah. Right now, Nancy's on track that before she dies, she'll reach $1 billion in public equities, which only one other guy has ever done, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett's the only billionaire to ever make billions of dollars in public equities, becoming a billionaire in public equities.
All during the pandemic.
Yeah, all the rest of the billionaires make all their money in private equities. Yeah. Right? Before company IPOs.
Yep. While everybody's, afraid, shitting bricks, there's people out there taking opportunity and grabbing it by the neck.
Hey, when there's blood in the water, the sharks will come. Right?
Ain't that right?
You can either think like a shark or you can think like the fish that's chumming the water.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I'm not worried. I bought like $200,000 worth of dots, right? And I bought it for like $23 a coin. And right now it's trading at like $7.30 a coin. Am I panicking? No.
Bro, you look chill.
I'm not panicking at all because I know the lifelong value of the coin over time is going to be hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars a coin. But I know whatever goes up, because I know the high dot was $58. So when I bought at 23, I was getting a steal. Always I thought.
Wasn't that nice?
Yeah, it was beautiful, But when the market's high, that's when all the scared investors want to get in and get on the wave, but they don't realize that that's the dumbest time to invest, right? If you're investing in real estate, like right now in like New York or in California or some of these areas where you're spending, and you're willing to spend $200,000 or $300,000 over asking price, something's not really, going right in your life. I mean, if the stock market crashed and interest rates are going up because inflation is killing the dollar right now. Look at all the signs, become an intelligent investor.
That's a fact. You know what? Like, we're in a bear market right now. And a question that I'm hearing often is like, since we're in a bear market, the S&P's down, the NASDAQ, the Dow, everybody's down. What about crypto? You're bringing up DOT and all these other things. Like, what would you say is the smartest thing to do right now? Should we be holding? Because I don't know about you, but I'm retired. I lost enough money. I'm not touching it. I'm letting it be. I'm going to ride this wave till the next year. Next year, hopefully I'll be on my gravy train. What do you say, Rob? What should we be doing right now?
If you would have bought $1,000 of Bitcoin 10 years ago, you would literally have around $100 million of Bitcoin today. Okay? So what I'm saying is let go of the day-to-day and buy and forget. Buy and forget has proven to be the biggest life-changing results of cryptocurrency in the world, right? If you are day trading crypto, you can probably make some good money, but chances are over time, you'll get wrecked, right?
I know about that.
So I would honestly suggest you pick out some coins that are really good. I like Polkadot. I like some Ethereum. I like, Bitcoin, right? And I would love to be able to buy it as cheap as possible and to hold for about a decade.
So you're saying 10 years? 10 years down the line?
10 years. 10 years. If you cannot buy and hold and be patient, then I don't know what to tell you. In all honesty, I don't know what to tell you.
They used to say that some people in the last bull run, they staked their whole like mortgage and everything. You think people are actually doing that now? Would you say that's wise? Since we're having a fire sale, everything's like 70% down. You think it'd be smart to go all in, knees deep, balls deep, put your whole hand on the table?
No. Warren Buffett's not all in.
Warren Buffett doesn't even know.
Warren Buffett has like $130 billion in cash right now. He literally has $130 billion in cash, right? So about 25% of his company stake is in cash. What does that tell you?
Cash is king, baby.
No. It tells you that Warren Buffett is priming up for something that everybody doesn't know is going to happen, that he knows is going to happen.
Well, Warren Buffett's like a bajillion years old. Do you think he's prepping up for another depression?
When do people make the most money?
During war and sickness. And
During a depression. During a depression. Robert Kiyosaki in 2008, when everybody was getting foreclosed on and everyone was losing money or whatever, he had a banker call him and offer him $300 million that they needed that money to get working to, right? And he took $300 million and created $2 billion worth of real estate working for him that he bought during the biggest real estate depression of the market that has ever existed.
Holy shit, I didn't know that.
Right? And so when there's blood in the water, the sharks will come out. The banks are loaning money to people that they know they can make money with. That's the bottom line. The banks are not in the real estate they're not in the real estate game. They are in the money business. They want to loan you money and have guaranteed low risk of return. That's how the banks operate. And either you know how to create a proof of concept or you don't. And Robert Kiyosaki had proven throughout the last 20 years of doing real estate to a lot of these big banks that he is not only good, but he is amazing at hedging risk in real estate and multiplying his net worth through real estate.
That's crazy.
So I would tell you to make as much fucking money as humanly possible, doing whatever you can do that's legal, right? I love sales because there's huge commissions in sales, and I can also get some continuity on some of these programs that I'm doing and things of that nature, right? I love online advertising because there's huge money in making online ads because your store is the world and not just from brick and mortar location or whatnot. And I love real estate. You know what I mean? Those are my things, right? Real estate is kind of like where my nest egg is, where I kind of put my money there, out there and everything else. I'm priming up. I love real estate, and I love to buy it cheap, and I love to rent it out.
So you're actually you're prepping up for some big real estate deals right now, right? What do you say to most people just saying like, oh man, everything's so expensive, it's overly sold, like it's hard to get a place right now? Like, do you think we're in a bubble? Do you think it's a good time? What's up with real estate?
I would tell you to go where the money is going. Go where the money is going, not where the money has already been. Because if you're trying to buy property where the money already been there, right? The money's already flipped those marketplaces, right? Those monies are already, growing that area the most. It's going to be really hard for you to buy. Like if you're just starting a business, right? You're not going to want to open up your first location in New York City because that's going to cost you the most amount of money to get an established location there. McDonald's didn't start in New York City, okay, when they started. They started where it was the easiest place to put your money, That's where I would tell you to look at real estate. There's always going to be places in parts of the country that it's very easy. I'll give you an example. I grew up in high school. I grew up in Buffalo, New York, right? Buffalo, New York, not New York City, upstate New York, okay? I went to high school in Buffalo, New York. And I will tell you that I can buy 1,000 properties in Buffalo, New York, where the average property price is $50,000 or less. And I can rent that property out, probably upstairs and downstairs, for around $1,100 a month right now, right? So when people tell me that it's hard to buy a house, it's hard to buy this, I would tell you to look outside of your environment and to look on a macro level of the whole United States and stop being tied to just one location. I literally have lived in Vegas. I lived in New York. I live in Puerto Rico now. I lived in Guam. I lived in Japan. I literally will go wherever the money flows, baby. I want to go to where the wave of money is coming, not to where it's already been. That's the problem with people. People are very like, well, my friends and family are here. You know, my things are here. I'm tied here, right? If you're a college student that just graduated college and you have no kids and maybe a boyfriend or a girlfriend, even a husband or a wife, you need to always be looking at where the environment is going, where the money is flowing, not where it's already flowed.
I had a really good buddy of mine. On that same note, I have a lot of friends in real estate. Let me put on my Swire glasses real quick. He's making a shit ton of money on real estate, and he tells me about his first come up. His first come up was, I think he went to like Marist or something like that, and his first come up was he saved up he saved up about $20K, and he bought his first property. It was like an 8-room house. Upstate New York or wherever Marist is. I forgot. Is that Poughkeepsie, Syracuse? I don't know. Around that area. He bought a big-ass house. And you know what he did? He rented it out to his frat brothers. That's crazy. And that was quick money for him. And then he took that money, flipped it, and, like, he charged, I think each frat brother paid, like, $150 on top of what what the actual price was. And he made a killing off of that. He turned that 20 into 60. Took that 60, bought another one, bought another one, and he kept moving. And it all started with a shitty-ass house. That was a frat house. So
hey, that guy saw an opportunity that all your frat brothers didn't see.
Yeah, crazy.
And he monetized it. He made money on it, right? So here's the thing, though, right? We're now seeing analytical data showing that millennials are not as interested in owning a home as the Gen X's. We're also seeing now that the Zennials are even less interested in owning a home than the millennials, right? That's why you see a lot of these hedge funds right now buying up all of these properties that are from 0 to 500,000. They're just sucking them all dry, and they want to just rent and cash flow these properties out as much as humanly possible because they know the lifelong value is going to be exponential, and the leveraging power of borrowing money from the banks to raise more capital or selling these properties over time with how much inflation is going to impact real estate over the next 10 years is going to be super exponential. See, when you put your money in something that is inflation proof, like the market, for example, or real estate, for example, or other things. A lot of people put their money in gold or precious metals, right? And it kind of helps, rise with inflation. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to catch up, but it doesn't, right? Property right now is insane. Is it going to go down? Yes, but over a 20-year time frame, your chances of losing money or losing leverage that you can have with the banks, are you going to lose that? No. If I have $500,000 in real estate, liquid, would a bank give me a $300,000 loan on it?
You better believe it.
Of course they will, and they'll give me a low interest rate because if I screw up, they took an asset that's worth way more than the value of the loan. Right? Rich people don't pay taxes because they buy assets. And then when they buy those assets, they don't spend their own money. They buy more assets with their own money that they're making, and they spend the bank's money that they collateralize those assets in a loan with the banks, and they spend the bank's money. Jeff Bezos makes $80,000 a year, but the reason why Amazon pays little to nothing in taxes is because they buy assets. They buy other businesses. They buy other manufacturing plants. They buy big stuff, and they constantly do it. Grant Cardone was a great example of a guy who was up and coming, and then had like a $16 million tax bill, and the tax guy's like, "You're gonna pay this big bill. You're just gonna end up paying like this bill, 16 to 25 million. He was gonna owe in taxes." And Grant was like, "Well, I can give it to the IRS as dead money, or I can buy something that I can write off 100%. And what he ended up doing was buying a G6 for his business because of how often he was traveling around the world and recruiting investors for his own real estate investment fund.
That's crazy.
And now Grant Cardone not only was able to wipe out 100% of his debt, right? But he was also able to now grab and give more value to his investors by getting them to fly with him in style, right? So the reason why Grant Cardone has almost $3 billion in a real estate fund portfolio right now is because of the G6. Imagine you have an investor who wants to give you $20 million, but he's not sure, right? But you know that he's kind of on the fences a little bit. Hey, well, let me get the G6 and let me fly over to you, right?
Light work.
We'll have a meeting. We'll do business. We'll close the deal. Then I'll take you to Vegas.
You know what's so funny? I have so many friends that they're like, you know what? Owning a house, property, it just ties you down. They're like, it's when they talk about real estate, they're saying that it's more of a headache than an asset, and you should always be liquid. And then, you know, like just a week ago, Drake says in one of his raps, he's like, don't even talk to me if you don't own property. That's how Drake feels. Drake is at a point where he's like, you shouldn't even be having a conversation with him if you don't own some type of property. So from what you're telling me the opposite from what a lot of people are saying. A lot of people are saying be liquid, put your money to work at all times. But you're saying having real estate, having property is actually essential at this point.
So I'm telling you the truth, okay? A lot of people that are up and coming have to learn this lesson the hard way, right? They have to learn the lesson to be liquid, be this, be that, be this, whatever, right? And I'm telling you that the richest people in the world, they're still liquid, but they're liquid tax-free. They put their money in assets, and then they already get commitments with banks who are already ready to give them loans on those assets, and they use those loan money to either live on and buy other assets. That's what I'm telling you. That's what they're doing. Grant Cardone could have spent $25 million on taxes, or he bought a G6, wrote 100% off his taxes, put a $50 million asset on his portfolio, wrote 100% of it off in the same year, and also gets to write off the maintenance and the fuel of flying around all of his most biggest investors and having fun with those guys because they're investing in his fund, which is producing massive amounts of financial freedom and wealth for him. And all of it was at the IRS's dime.
Bro, I don't know about you, but I'm learning a lot. How much do we owe you for this advice?
Bro, all of my education and everything that we do is always 100% free of charge. I mean, like, it's not rocket science, right? Stack your fucking money. Live on 30% of your money. Stack your fucking money. Buy assets, right? If you own a home to live in, honestly, that's the most retarded investment, right? It's still an investment, but it yields the least amount of value for you, right? So, I mean, like, all the places that I live, I rent. And all the places that I own, I rent out. And that's literally how it flows. If I owe a huge amount of taxes, I buy G-Wagons, I buy Range Rovers, I buy real estate. And then I write off all the bullshit I can write off legally with all those assets, and then I collateralize them with loans that I get from the bank, and I use that to buy more shit. And when there's blood in the water, if you don't have assets, if you don't have any of that stuff, the bank's not going to give you any fucking money. Because the bank legally cannot give you any money. There has to be something in between giving you the money, right? And so you have you, then they have the asset, and then they have the bank. It can't be you and the bank and no asset. There has to be an asset in the fucking middle, right? And what's cool is there's assets that are depreciating, and then there's prices that are appreciating. There's a difference, right? Now, what's cool about it is there's property thing deductions that if you're making money in rent, you'll never pay any taxes on the rent because you can deduct so much stuff in real estate. It's crazy, right? But you first need to have a high income skill that's going to generate you some good money to be able to get into the fucking game. See, the problem is, so there's these companies in Utah, when I lived in Utah, right, that would sell you education on everything you needed to get into real estate for $25,000, right? And then the people would have no money to invest in real estate after that. I think that's crazy. That's insane, right?
Setting up for failure.
Yeah. Like, what's the point in somebody learning about real estate or the stock market, and you're using credit card money to buy the education, and then they have no high-end skill making them money to make that up really good, really easily at all beforehand? Develop a high-end skill. This is my fucking advice based on the 95% of people that I see buying this education and never doing anything with it because they don't have any extra resources to actually make it happen, right? Develop a high-end skill like sales, for example, or e-com, selling products, or engineering, go to school, learn coding, whatever's going to make you hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, right? Save 70% of that money, live on 30% of it now, save the rest of it for opportunity, and then get into buying fucking assets. If you own $1,000 in stocks, the banks will give you $300 to $400. No problem leveraging that because the stock was the conduit in between, right? The real estate is a conduit in between. The car is a conduit in between, right? You own the asset. The bank will give you the loan against the assets, right? That's how the banking system works.
Interesting.
Now, I can buy a business for $100 million with no money on my own pocket and collateralizing the business itself, right, as the asset. And it's much easier to do that than to buy a business for $1 million or $500,000 or whatever, collateralizing it with the bank because it doesn't really wet the bank's, beak. They don't really give a shit. So when they called Robert Kiyosaki and said, listen, I'm willing to give you $300 million at the greatest interest rate you've ever seen if you just put it to work. Guess what they gave Robert? They gave him a fucking opportunity, and now he has $2 billion in real estate because he was able to buy real estate for 20 to 30% of market value, then, and also be able to buy what's worth like 5% of market value today. That was in 2008. Where were we in? We're in 2022. He still is owning the majority of that assets.
Nuts.
That's what you have to do. High-end skill. Buy assets, get a loan against it, use the bank's money to get more assets. That's it. You don't need to fucking go to college to understand that at all. Anybody can do that anytime they want to.
So this is what I want to know, and I think we all want to know. Is owning a Lamborghini an asset?
Yes and no.
Yes and no?
If you own $1 million house that you live in, but you can't afford the furniture, is that an asset?
Not at all.
No. Is renting out a penthouse for $50,000 a month because you can afford it, is that an asset?
Not at all.
No, it's all bullshit, right? But if I own a Lambo and I'm putting it on Turo and I'm renting it for 3 days a week for $500 a day, is that an asset?
That sounds like an asset to me.
Absolutely. So an asset is something that fucking makes you money, right? More than one ways. I love the cash flow way and the asset appreciating way because the asset appreciating way also counteracts inflation. And the fact that people just don't follow this simple fucking process, learn a high-end skill, make a lot of fucking money, live on 30% of it, save the other 70%, buy assets, and then leverage those assets to get loans from banks and to buy more fucking assets with other people's money. But if you don't ever learn the discipline of understanding high-end skill, living on 30% of that money or less, you're never going to get started. And this is why people work for 45 fucking years. They retire with a little bit of money. They have no generational wealth at all to pass on to the next generation. And the poor just get more poor because the dollars of the wages don't go up, but everything else does go up. The cost of a house in 1990 was $100,000. The cost of a house in 2022 is $330,000.
So, with all that advice that you're giving right now, Rob, here's what I want to ask you. We're talking about loans. We went through the market crash. You calmed my nerves because, everybody's talking about bear markets, the stock market's down, crypto market's down. I was freaking out, man. I want to talk about, I know you're really good at this. How should people be using their credit cards right now? This is something that a lot of people don't talk, but I think it's important because banking is important. We're talking about loans, so let's talk about something that's a little bit smaller, but people use every day, in and out. What's the smartest way to be using your credit cards right now?
First of all, buy Perrier if they sponsor me. Okay, I'm gonna buy stock in Perrier. Buy Perrier if they don't sponsor me. Buy Aquafina. I don't give a shit.
What's the Perrier stock looking like? Let's see.
Who cares?
Bro, you should pull a Elon Musk, buy all Perrier stock, and then run a dictatorship.
No, and then dump it like Dogecoin.
And then force them to give you that.
And then buy Bitcoin and then dump it. No, I don't want to be part of that. Okay, so if you have credit cards, this is what you have to understand about credit card. It's real fucking simple. Okay, credit cards are lending tests for you. Okay, they're not lending vehicles for you yet. They're lending tests. If they loan you a $5,000 credit line, okay, and you use it irresponsibly, the bank may have lost $5,000 if they get the write-off, which they need all the write-offs they can get, but they're never going to loan you another dime for at least a decade. And they actually saved money on taxes by testing you, okay? So if you have a credit card, what you need to look at is what's called the utilization rates, which is how much you're using versus what the available balance is. And you never want to have the reporting date, which is the date the bank sends it to the credit bureaus, to show your utilization over 10%. So if you have a $1,000 credit card and you use $500 of it, your utilization rate is 50%, okay? So on the utilization date, the day before the reporting date, 3 days before the reporting date, which is different than the bill date, you're going to want to ask your bank, what day is your reporting date? What date does the bank send all their data to the bureaus? Okay? You want to be able to pay off down as much as you can, but pay off as much as you can, at least down to 10% utilization rate 3 days before the reporting dates. If you do this for 2 months in a row, you can call your credit card company when you're below 10% and ask for an increase. And they'll typically give you anywhere between a 200 and a 20% increase. And you can do that every 2 months, right? Now, if you have 3 credit cards over $5,000 with 2 years of good history, good low utilization, right, and payments on time and everything else, you can almost get whatever you want because you have what's considered the highest risk of credit lines for the bank. If they give you an auto loan, that's an asset. They can seize that and make some money back, right? If you have a mortgage, they can foreclose on you. They can seize that. They can take that back. A credit card is a 100% write-off item. That's why they'll never give you $1 million line of credit to just anybody, right?
But you can get it.
Huh?
You can get the $1 million.
Absolutely. If you understand the philosophy, if you have 3 credit cards right now with 2-year history, $5,000 or more, and 10% utilization rate, I can help you get almost $500,000 in credit lines. It's not that difficult to do. You awake, Supra? You awake? You with me? Did I blow you away with that?
Bro, I can't believe you could get $500,000 in credit cards. I think I know enough about credit cards, but you did like you were helping like a few people with their whole credit card system. Like you really know the ins and outs.
Well, yeah, you know, I mean, like if you have a new business, there's like the Amex Plum card that's really good. Yeah. There's the Amex, you know, Platinum Unlimited card, which helps out people in real estate, you know, a lot, right?
First off, Mundo, stop catching me when I'm listening, man. It looks, I want to look good on camera, all right?
I know. Yeah, Mundo got you when you're sleeping, you know what I mean? But anyway, we could go on and on and on and on and on and on about all this stuff, you know what I mean? But this is the bottom line, okay? This is, if you get nothing out of this fucking podcast, all I want you to get is develop a high-end skill, make a lot of money, live on 30 fucking % of it, buy some fucking assets, when you have opportunity, leverage those assets to take advantage of the opportunity, and then make that money and buy more assets. You know, Grant Cardone didn't buy $50 million jet because it made him look good. It's because he wanted to add an asset to his balance sheet that he could take a loan against and save $25 million on taxes. Oh, you got it, Supra?
Yeah, and also, on top of all of that, if your girlfriend is talking about her ex, toot it and boot it.
Hit it and quit it. Took it and book it.
Well, I think that's everything for today, right?
If she has, if she's, you know, if she's like a cougar or older,
throw it at Mundo.
Mundo.com.
Mundo, put it on the screen right here. 1-800-MUNDO.
50 and older, Mundo.
Shut up.
All right, guys. Well, anyway, I hope this was valuable to you. Make sure to hit that fucking subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and all the other social media platforms. And we will go from that point forward on giving you more fucking value with a little bit of entertainment by the one and only
DJ Supra. Check me out on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, all the socials. That's DJ SUPRA NYC. Send us some questions. I want to hear some more stuff. If you want to hear about music shit, if you want to hear about like doing your own business, starting your business, going to a new place like Puerto Rico, whatever it may be, we both did it. We're both good. So let us know.
But we're both cursed because we both date Puerto Rico women. And so it's a little bit of a double-edged sword.
We could tell you a lot about that.
But we'll end it on that note.
Yes.
I'm not crazy. Peace out. Later, guys.
See ya.